Specie. All right, where were we?
Rage.
Week in Rage.
This Week in Rage.
I'm angry. What a dick. I pay taxes, bitch. What?
Number 5.
The Amber Alert on those super, super expensive signs we buy here in Los Angeles. The electronic freeway signs. The ones that give out no useful information yet must cost the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. I mean, you could only imagine what one of those huge electric light-up freeway signs, you could only imagine what we're bidding on for that little puppy, right? And about all they do ever is they say 20 minutes to downtown and everyone just slows down when they passes underneath them. But we have found one good message for them. When a welfare dad collects his daughter and says he's going to Orange County for good this time, we light it up and say, Amber Alert, everyone. Everyone look out for beige 87 Honda. Well, that stops traffic. But the problem for me is not that a kid has been abducted. It is the name, the Amber Alert. It's a color. I know there was a chick named Amber who was abducted once, but is there not one named Judy or Sarah or Jill or Lauren or Lori or Teresa or Angie? Is the only chick that ever got abducted in a car named Amber? And now it's confusing because I'm driving along the freeway half drunk and I see that sign up there. I didn't say totally drunk. I said half drunk. And I see that sign up there and it says Amber Alert and I go, holy Christ, DEFCON 5. The terrorists have landed. That means they're invading. We have a terrorist chart. It has a bunch of super confusing colors on it. And by the way, when are we going to admit that thing has not worked out? Does anybody, if I did a polling of 100 Americans and I said, all right, close your eyes. Let's go through the terrorist color wheel one more time. It's been in existence for 5 or 6 years now. Let's go ahead and do it. What do you got for me? Do you think those Americans could tell you how many colors were on the wheel, what colors were on the wheel, what the biggest threat color was on the wheel or the least? Really? We couldn't just go 1 to 5? And somehow magenta is inherently more dangerous than burnt orange? Really? All right. Anyway, freeway signs. Light them up with goddamn information that has to do with the goddamn freeway and pick a chick name. From now on, it is a Nancy Alert.
Wait, that could be confusing.
Number 4.
Gay guys on the loose. TV shows from the 80s with the goatee, and that meant you're evil. Yes, I miss this time. There was a time when you could judge a guy and you knew who the bad guy was. You knew who the bad guy was because he had a goatee and he had a tattoo. Now every third guy in the sales department has a tat and a goatee. I don't know who the evil is anymore. And again, people, I profile. That's the way I get around. You understand? I walk down the street and I see a dog coming down the street. Now, either that dog's a breed that doesn't bite or it's a breed that oftentimes bites. And either that dog is wagging its tail or the fur is standing up on the back of the dog's spine. And guess who is profiling? Moi! And guess who else profiles? Yaw! You just don't like to admit it because you think you're too good. Well, we profile with animals and I profile with people. And when I see the tattoo, and I see the goatee, and I see the black members only jacket, I know it was a bad guy from the 80s. Now every single other Yahoo and Nancy boy comes in here with his tat and his thing, and I no longer know who the felons are anymore, or the sailors, for that matter, with all your crackhead tattoos and all your stupid goatees. Lose the facial hair, hit the laser, and let me know who the real bad guys are.
Number 3.
Plane travel taking as long today as it took in the, well, this says 70s, but it's really 60s. I mean, the jet airliner's been around probably since the late 50s, but it came into worldwide use in, let's say, the 60s. So in 1968, 40 years ago, in 1968, if I went down to LAX and I was flying into JFK on a plane from 1968, it would take me exactly as long in the air as it does now, except for we forgot about one thing. Let's tack on 2 more hours at the airport. So not only is the plane travel exactly the same as it was 40 effing years ago, we can tack on another hour and a half at the airport. So instead of a 6-hour flight, it is now 7.5 hours committed to getting cross country. And listen, everybody, travel. Modalities of travel. Have you not seen the movies? Have you not read the books about the future? That's how we measure the future. It's all about travel. Oh, you're not driving along in your dad's old Buick. You're in a hovercraft now. You're in George Jetson's car. You're going to be transported. If you think about the constants in every single depiction of the future, it's all about travel. And guess what, people? It never slows down. It's not like, well, today it's 1935 and we use trains. But in the future, man will travel by donkey. No! We travel, we get there 10 times as fast as we do in this present day and age. 40 years takes exactly the same time. Richard Branson, if you're listening, if you're not masturbating to Teresa Strasser, I say you work on that plane. I say we take all the money that we're putting into the space shuttle, by the way, and that whole stuff where we go, hey, guess what, everyone? We're going to the moon one more time. What'd we do? Leave something behind last time? What the hell's on the moon? Look, you want the moon? Here's what you get. Get in your car in Los Angeles, go to Vegas, halfway there, there's a place called Baker. Stop the car, have yourself a nice strawberry shake at the Bun Boy, and then walk about 100 yards into the desert and stop. That's the moon. I'm not tired of the moon. I want to get to a place where there's booze and chicks and fun and relatives. That's called New York. I want to do it in 3 hours in the next 10 years. All right.
Number 2.
Well, the station's not going to like this because they advertise, but during the Christmas break, I was hearing commercials on this station and many other stations, the gift certificate for lottery tickets. Now, look, buying lottery tickets yourself is a certain form of retardism. It's a kind of defeatism meets retardism. It's basically you saying, look, I'm a loser. I got one shot at life, and that's to go talk to some steely-eyed guy through some Lexan, and maybe God will smile upon me. And by the way, God punishes people who buy lottery tickets. Haven't you seen the news reports? But anyway, it's a certain kind of retardism to buy lottery tickets. You're a loser. You buying them as a gift, that's essentially you trying to indoctrinate your family and friends in your retarded loser lifestyle. That's bad. You buying a gift certificate for lottery tickets? Well, that has entered a strata of retardism that can't be measured by the human mind, and it can't be seen by the naked eye. Yes, this is me buying you a gift certificate so you can get in your slippers and house coat and haul your loser ass to the 7-Eleven, and then what? Hammer it? For what? How does it work? Do you only get to get lottery tickets with it, or can you cash it in for a Slurpee and a Lowrider magazine? Either way, how many times do I have to say it? It is state-sponsored gambling. It's hypocrisy of the highest order, and anyone who does this has made a deal with the devil. And anyone who buys me a gift certificate for a lottery, I'm going to use it to chop up blow and do a nice rail in your name. Hey, everybody, but the schools benefit. The schools benefit. The schools, you mean the ones, the LA Unified schools, the ones I can't send my twins to because they're too dangerous and no one gets educated? Those schools benefit? Well, let me just ask something. Is there some school system in Oregon that all the money goes to that I'm not aware of? Yeah, because I'm confused. Because we made billions and billions of dollars ripping off poor people in this country because of the lottery over the last 20 years, because it benefits the schools. What schools? LA Unified? Have fun. Ridiculous. It should be abolished. Pathetic.
Number 1.
Celebrity wives. Celebrity wives who pretend they didn't know their husbands were celebrities before they met them. Look.
Gary Coleman's wife.
Gary Coleman. Yeah, what did you think?
Well, in her defense.
What do you think Gary Coleman did? Like he cleaned aquariums or something? What business did you think Gary Coleman? Who does? And by the way, would you want to marry someone that stupid? I wouldn't want to marry someone who didn't know who Gary Coleman was. But again, the greatest one is Carl the Mailman Malone, the great Utah Jazz forward. When his wife, his beauty queen wife, gets interviewed, she explains that she just went to the mall and saw a big sign that said the mailman and saw a 9-foot black man, the only one in Utah, with a line of autograph seekers going around the block, and assumed he was a mailman. Sure, my mailman's a 9-foot black man who signs. And I've oftentimes said to him, hey, Sam, how about the mail Friday? And he said, no, can do. I got to go to the mall and sign autographs. So, wow, you guys are really popular. I'm tired of this line of crap. Just admit you knew who the guy was, and that's why you dug him, and you were hot enough to get him. I'll respect the truth. As a matter of fact, I respect it more. Guys don't pull this crap. It's not like Morgan Fairchild's husband goes, Dynasty? What's that? I never heard of that show.
Timely.
Thank you. All right. It's not like Cindy Crawford there. You mentioned her before. It's not like her husband never opened a Vogue magazine. Listen, we're honest. We're guys. We know your models. We know your actresses. That's why we want you. And by the way, what super smoking hot chick wants to marry a mailman anyway? Sorry, Steve, who played our show a little earlier, but seriously, just admit it and let's move on. All right.
Until next time.